Welcome back to Builds Not Projects. This week we're back on the mower. We're going to get started by trying to make this rear suspension actually work correctly. It's definitely too stiff, so we're going to try moving the upper mounts further forward and see if maybe we can get it to soften up that way. If not, we may be redesigning to use some different shocks, so we'll try upper mounts first. So we tried just quickly throwing in these front shocks off a snowmobile in the back here. I mean, they're shorter, but I was hoping the spring rate would be a little different, but actually they're stiffer. So that's definitely not gonna work. We're gonna have to play around with maybe have to move the lower mounting point. Might be able to get away with just moving the upper one further forward, get a little more angle on it. I'm definitely gonna have to redo some of the swing arm and stuff to accommodate for shock positioning, but it's alright, it's just all trial and error. You gotta figure it out somehow. So we'll get these tabs busted off again, grind all those smooth, and start over. So rendition number 6 on the shock mounts, and it finally actually has decent travel. Doesn't feel like it's going to be too terribly stiff. I mean, it's fairly soft, and those shocks have pretty good damping still, so I think I'll leave it there. If I end up having to do different shocks later on, some with softer springs or something, we can, but I think I like the positioning of them there, so probably start mounting the gas tank now, or at least it's not going to be a gas tank yet because I'll have to weld in a bung and do that, which I don't think I have fitting here for that, but we'll get a gas tank mounted. So within the first about 10 seconds of trying to mount the gas tank that I wanted to use, I realize that as it sits where I was hoping to put it, it is only, I don't know, a couple inches away from the rear axle. So as the suspension goes down, it just smashes straight into that. Trying to come up with some different options to do for the old gas tank. I could try to make this one work, redo this rear portion of frame here and slim it down a little bit to make it fit in between, but then as it goes up the back of the seat, it will have to go out further as well, so this rear tube would have to get done differently. It'd have to get cut and redone. Not sure that I want to do that yet, so we're trying to come up with a different idea for a gas tank. So we're out here at the boneyard that we've been working on cleaning up. Hauled a bunch of, well, a 20-foot car trailer worth of scrap metal out of here, so getting it cleaned up back here so that way we can actually get to the things that we want to get to. So that'll be nice. But looking at this old mower, there's this nice little plastic gas tank right here that looks like a pretty good size to fit like in front of the seat, kind of between your legs maybe. So we're gonna zip it out of here real quick and see if maybe it'll work for us. Well, this gas tank's definitely gonna work. I'm gonna throw it up in here. I'll have to trim these sides just a little bit, and then I might slip it up from the bottom because this thing has these bracing points in there. Instead of notching the frame out for those to slide into, I'll probably just slide it up from the bottom and then build like maybe a piece of flat stock to kind of help support it up underneath there, and then that way when it gets tightened down it's fully supported across there. But I think this thing will fit down in there perfect. I mean, it's not the biggest gas tank in the world, but should be good for what we need it for. And then we'll probably end up maybe eventually build like a steel shroud or something to kind of go over the top of it, just to kind of protect the plastic, so if you accidentally kick it or something when you're getting on, you don't break it. So the gas tank is mounted pretty much. I ended up doing it from the top side instead of from the bottom just to make it easier to bolt it on. The way that I had to cut these slots in there for these little support braces, I'll have to reinforce the frame through here because it lost a good bit of structure getting rid of the angle bit there. But that's all right. I may end up building more tube frame stuff anyways along here, so that'll be fine. I can also use, when I build a shroud, I can also run it down the side more and use it for more structural support as well, so that won't be too big of a deal there. This gas tank actually is going to work out perfect, so that'll be awesome.
This little bolt hole even lines up pretty much spot on, so we can just slap it in, good to go. Drill one for the other side, but that's pretty convenient.
Yeah, it definitely worked out well. Well, the seat and everything with the gas tank, that gas tank looks like it was just made to be in there. I mean, it's kind of handy. We're putting another lawnmower part on this mower, so that works out really well. Wasn't really thinking we were going to find anything when I went out to look in the scrap pile to see if there was anything else for a gas tank, and lo and behold, first lawnmower hood I open up, there's this beauty sitting in there. So that's pretty nice. I should probably find some more spare lawnmowers to stack in my yard. So we're gonna go ahead and trim this back section here because the chain is gonna have to run underneath there, and I don't want to cut just a big slot for the chain to run in. So what I'm gonna do is I need to pull the shocks loose and then I'll hang it with the chain hoist. And then I'm going to trim across in here somewhere, and then it will also get trimmed down to probably somewhere in there, kind of at an angle, and then eventually I'll end up running tubes and stuff along there to reinforce all of that, and probably run some sort of a tube forward to where the bearing plate is on the inside for the swing arm as well, just to try to tie it all together structurally so we don't lose any of that. having that all chopped out, use the old plasma. I had to freehand the sides because I couldn't get a straight edge in there well enough. They turned out all right. Nothing a little grinder can't fix, and eventually they'll end up having tubes and stuff kind of in there anyways, so they'll be all welded up and you won't notice any of that. But we got all sorts of room for the chain and all that to go in there. We can position this wherever we need it. I may have forgotten to put the second sprocket on the jack shaft when I put all that in there, but it'll have to come back apart anyways because I think I need to flip that brake rotor around as well, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, as for right now.
Well, I don't know where the end of this video went. It disappeared into the ether like many of my videos do, but that's okay. Just make sure to go like and subscribe to the video, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed, and go check out our website, buildsnotprojects.com.